2025. This is HOA Today. HOA Today is brought to you by Zayuk Smart Property System. Zayuk is a smart property system built for HOAs and condos to distribute their information, to log their asset information, including hygiene through our inspection service, through our reserve study inspection service, where we can give you a deliverable that you can use every single day through our asset reserve features, through our digital twin features, and using our ledger system to bring it all together and maintain a storage base for your information. And that includes rules, work orders, delinquencies, many other things, contracts as well. We have a smart contracting system where you can invite your vendors to and handle the delegation of various issues. That this podcast is about current events within HOA, so we're going to go through some articles about various issues. So here is from the Wichita Eagle. HOA board bans media observers from recall vote. Board of the Fairmont Homeowners Association has banned the media and neutral observers from attending a special meeting where homeowners will decide whether to recall board members who have already overstayed their 1-year term by 5 months. Shunned transparency, oversight, and scrutiny, violated a state law. Reform-minded homeowners have uncovered substantial evidence of unlawful closed meetings and self-dealing, culminated in a petition by HOA members to force a vote on whether they continue in office. Members only will be members only meeting. No guests or media reporters will be allowed. The Wichita Eagle attempted to join a meeting and was stopped at the door. And then several members of the association invited the reporter back in. State law guarantees members have to be allowed in, but nobody else. And this is in Kansas. Okay, we'll continue. And Zayuk tracks your positions, and we can create, depending on customer need, various protocols for voting, because governance is a huge portion that many people, it's not obvious, it's not well understood, the governance that goes into homeowners associations, and people need a reference that's easily available, but also that is a digital thread to other portions of their business, such as, and when I say business, I mean the HOA, because the HOA is a business, such as your work orders, such as your delinquencies, such as your violations, such as various architecture requests, contracts. There are various things that are there. You need to create a thread of information, and the easiest way to create that thread is a digital thread. And Zayuk is highly capable in creating digital threads for homeowner associations, for condo associations, for properties, because they're very complex, because they involve voting and governance and contracts and invoices and work orders and delinquencies and violations. We will continue. And we've spoken about an HOA, Stillwater, that is alleging there's a runoff from a data center installation that is polluting a local ecological site that has harmed the local fauna or wildlife and polluted the area. Doesn't look like there's traction there. And these, when people do have quarrels with their local ordinance, an HOA is a much easier way to handle those issues than to say, as an individual, when you're able to bring together an entire community and say, we need to talk to the city or the county about some issues we're facing here, local issues. Doing that as a group is going to help a lot. And as much as there are issues in HOA, the community aspect is very helpful, and more often than not is going to be a benefit to you. Unless again, there needs to be more transparency. There's a lot of dark corners, and those dark corners are being quickly eradicated with technology, with governance across states and local municipalities. Not really local municipalities, mostly states. And we've spoken about that, including Utah. An ombudsperson or office was created, same as in Minnesota. In Florida and Utah, registries of HOAs are being created. Longhorn Ridge. Okay, so here is a Central Oregon Daily News. Longhorn Ridge HOA lifts burn ban this winter to help homeowners clean up fire damaged debris. Question homeowners who survived Highland Fire near Prineville. How they answer them could be a model for other homeowners who likely face similar cleanups. Hundreds of blackened juniper trees in their area. The Crook County Commissioner waived landfill tipping fees, or they declined to. Highland Fire burned through Long Ridge neighborhood southeast of Prineville. And the best way to deal with torched trees around a lot is to burn them. Because once trees burn, they can burn again and are possibly even more fire prone than live unburned trees. Homeowner insurance doesn't cover fire damage to landscaping. And we've spoken about these issues that occurred also in Hawaii. I believe I'm going to say Maui. After the fires, there are questions about whether HOAs should get into fire control within their local ordinance, and that's likely true. And having a digital reference of where these issues may be is helpful. And Zayuk provides the inspection service as well as the storage and interaction of the deliverable, being a 3D model, being the reference images, being any sort of capturable item that documents the hygiene level of your home, of your property that you own. Because we've spoken about this multiple times. I speak about this often. The 3 pillars of what you should truly understand when you purchase into an HOA is 1, the asset hygiene, which is fairly obvious. the quality of the property itself, the curb appeal. Is the asphalt decayed, cracked, or not? Is the sidewalk level or not? Is the painting up to date or not? Is the landscaping look decent or not? That's fairly obvious. 2, financial hygiene. That is less obvious. What have been the state of the financials over the last 3 to 5 years? What are the state of the financials over the upcoming 3 to 5 years? Have the budgets changed significantly over the last 5 years? Have the assessments changed? Has there been any special assessments? What's the state of the reserves? What's the state of the reserves in relation to the quality of the assets? So is there a low amount in the reserve study with a lot of maintenance upcoming in the next 5 to 10 years? And interpreting these documents is not easy or simple at all. It's fairly difficult, actually, I would say, if you don't understand finance. And then actually executing on maintaining your property is about being good in construction and construction projects, I would say, depending on the quality of, and also people and governance and many other issues. It's a very holistic system, but a lot of cost comes in with construction and construction experience. Okay, we'll continue. And we've spoken about how a Florida lawmaker has proposed eliminating homeowners associations. And this is in response to how erratic the Florida condo market is. How volatile is a better word. How volatile the Florida HOA market is. Roughly 45% of homes are in HOA neighborhoods. Sweeping effects. Eliminating HOAs raises question. And in certain properties, I would say it's nearly impossible. I would guess let's avoid the legal prospects of doing that and just say, okay, legally you're able to do that you're able to actually eliminate these organizations. And it seems nonsensical to even speak about it. But it is something that gained huge amounts of views. A lot of articles were written about that. Arlington HOAs could get fee rebates for stormwater improvements. Tweak to Arlington 2-year-old stormwater fee program could help members of homeowners associations save a little money. Possible change to the county stormwater credit fee, where homeowner groups have made specific stormwater improvements. Board members voted to advertise for an October public hearing, would allow financial rebates up to 35%. 181 homeowners associations in the county, around 3,800 properties. Based on common area, the rebate amounts ultimately be reflected in lower rates for homeowner association members. In 2024, Arlington changed from a tax-based charge from stormwater services to a fee based on the impermeable surface of a lot. Amendments to the original policy came a year later. The credit system was designed to incentivize actions to reduce runoff. Storm and drainage systems are also highly vulnerable, and when they fail, they are destructive. They can cause water buildup and flood. And once you have a flood, it's a huge issue. We spoke about Utah and Florida and their legislative bodies, as well as Minnesota with an ombuds office. Georgia, lawmakers took a step forward addressing HOA oversight. More than 2 million residents in Georgia are in HOAs. Senate Bill 361, proposed by state senators, bipartisan, would raise foreclosure threshold from 2,000 to 4,000. And these amounts, it's similar to the debt ceiling on the federal government. It's very difficult because inflation can jump. And then once inflation jumps, these numbers in and of themselves lose their sense. And it's not an obvious how to adjust for that, but a percentage based of some sort of metric would make more sense if the percentage and the metric was in accordance to cost of living. But to have an arbitrary number like that, and with inflation the way it had occurred in the last 4 years, it becomes difficult, because $2,000 for some HOAs, 4 years ago, that might have been 4 or 5 months of assessments, whereas in today's market, that could be 2 or 3 months of assessments. Require HOAs to register with the Secretary of State office for oversight. Looks to add HOA dues to escrow, so dues will be paid with mortgage to a bank, providing more balance between the HOA's ability to foreclose while still holding homeowners accountable for paying dues. That is a very to have the the HOA dues go through the bank seems like a bad idea. I'm not a lawyer. None of this is legal advice, but I'd be interested to hear a HOA lawyer in Georgia speak about that. Georgia HOAs operate without state, county, or city oversight. Homeowners facing disputes must pursue costly court battles. Nola Zaharis recommended requiring HOA to register as official charities with her office. She also requested resources to create a dedicated HOA oversight board for enforcement. The proposed framework would include a $100 registration fee and require HOAs to submit financial documents. And this is occurring throughout the nation. We'll continue. We've spoken about this in Tampa. Homeowners schedule a march on Capitol Hill. 2 homeowners, Paul and Brandy Miller, formed Facebook groups, sued their HOA, and are now trying to reach lawmakers in an attempt to reform Florida's HOA laws. Paul and Brandy Miller became so fed up with their HOA they filed a lawsuit and believe homeowners need to band together. Dark cloud comes from their HOA. The problem comes from inside their gated neighborhood. 3 of the Millers' neighbors have served on the board for 20, 25, and 27 years each. They asked the director if they could put up a fence, and he said, "You aren't allowed to put up fences." Paul filed the lawsuit in Pasco County Circuit Court, alleging the board was enforcing rules to do not exist and targeting him with unauthorized restrictions. The Millers contacted us due to reporting an HOA issue. And this is on the verge of many things occurring in the HOA space in Florida. For some residents, I believe in the north, like Dakota, the Dakotas and Wisconsin and Montana, in those areas, HOAs are very low in number, but in states like Florida, they're significant. They're huge. It's become a huge issue in Florida. And now, okay, we'll continue. This is a fight over a fence. Madison Locklear, mother has dementia and wanted to put up a fence to prevent her mother from wandering off. And her request was denied by the HOA management. She needed neighbors' approval. And little time passed, and the management company emailed her that her neighborhood gave her the okay. Everything was good. They built the fence, and it went downhill from there. A letter says her lawyer sent the HOA. Under the neighborhood's rules, the fence could only extend 11 feet, and hers was 13 feet. Too big. And there are utility lines under the 11-foot line. So the contractor extended the fence to be safe. It'll be too close to her unit, and it would be a code violation. And her fine is $100 per week. It can be hard to win a dispute like this. Okay, we'll continue. Tenant is confused after receiving fines from homeowners association for removing a dead tree. The tenant's sibling posted about the incident on Reddit. The tenant violated a rule that requires people to obtain permission for removing trees. The tree was dead, and the bylaws state that all dead trees should be removed. And that was just the end of the complaint. One owner in Maryland was frustrated when their homeowners association set what seemed like an unreasonable restriction on their install of electric vehicles charger. Setting up a charger would be no issue, they were told by the agent, but have no garage and 2 parking spaces in front. But the HOA had a problem. Not allowed to have a cable running over the sidewalk. They proposed an idea to put a pedestal in the ground in a parking spot with a charger that would run under the sidewalk. HOA, this is quote, is saying that the owner needs to get an escrow account holding $3,000 at all times before they can do the install. If they see damage inflicted on the concrete parking area, they are allowed to remove funds from the escrow account to repair the damages. And that goes to legal boundaries, the legal boundaries between the HOA's responsibility and the homeowners. We'll continue. Okay. Another Reddit story. Homeowner lives in a neighborhood which has an HOA. They said they were there before the rest of the houses were built and the group formed. Claimed a woman came over to their house and said their lights were against HOA policy. And this was in late November. Early light hanging upset other members and handed them a flyer with the rules. So Reddit just has a lot of complaining. Okay, that's it for today, everyone. Thank you for listening. Hopefully, you're all having a great week ahead of you. And I mean, it's almost over, but hopefully, you're having a great Thursday. And there are reasons to be positive, there are reasons to enjoy what you're doing. And hopefully, you all are finding those reasons. Thank you so much. Take care and